Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second webinar held in the framework of the Erasmus project Upcycling as a way to generate less weight and create value-added products in a creative way. The project consortium of this project is formed by 8 organizations from 7 different countries, such as Iceland, Portugal, Cyprus, the Netherlands, Italy, Poland, and Spain. My name is Ana Ranz, and I am representing the Spanish partner, Open Europe. I will be the moderator in today's webinar. So if you have any comments, you can write them in the chat and we will answer them at the end of the webinar. The main objectives of our projects are to raise students' awareness of the challenges of the environment and climate change, developing sustainability skills of teachers, leaders, and staff, and promote interdisciplinary collaboration, innovative learning, and the development of creativity. The project is in the school sector because we believe that it is essential to raise awareness from early age about the benefits of upcycling and make students become agents of change by using fewer resources, reducing waste consumption, and offsetting carbon emissions. The purpose of the collaborative webinar series is to provide practical and interactive training focused on creative process planning and promotion of upcycling. The ultimate goal is to empower educators and other participants to apply and spread the knowledge gained within their own schools, organizations, and communities, and thereby amplifying the project's impact across various educational and environmental sectors. So the title of today's webinar is the Implementation of Design Processes and Upcycling Assessment. There will be 3 presentations. The first one, Implementing Design Process in the Classroom, held by María Elena Chapa de la Peña from Open Europe, Spain. The second one will be Key Indicators and Criteria for Assessing Upcycling Activities at School, held by Christina Karvouna from Nefinia in the Netherlands, and Benefits of Upcycling of the role and the role of upcycling in promoting sustainability, prepared by Malgorzata Dega from the primary school Jastikov in Poland. Unfortunately, our colleague is not be able to attend the webinar, and she has prepared a very interesting video for us. So now let's present the first speaker, María Elena Chapa de la Peña from Open Europe, Spain. María Elena. Hello. María Elena has a bachelor's degree in psychology and a master's degree in social intervention. Today, she works as the project manager in educational and inclusion projects related to the use of new technologies in arts and culture, and she is passionate about the technology. In 2017, Elena shifted her career from human resources to the educational sector. Since then, she has been using the knowledge she gained in both fields to help others, especially by supporting people in their job search and helping them to improve their skills. So, Elena, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Anna, for the presentation. I'm going to share my screen, and I hope you see it. There we are. Excuse me, let me shift my... There you are. So, I'm sorry that we have here this... Let me close it and present again. So, yes, today I'm going to talk about the design process. As Anna has already said, my background is in education, specifically English teaching. And I have to say that right now, the skills required for the labor market for the labor market are quite different from past generations. So now the 21st century requires from students and from people in general there is a massive amount of information on our fingertips, so the skills needed to navigate this landscape are quite different. Therefore, it's much more important to hone our ability for inquiry, for problem solving, and for process-based learning, meaning as teachers, we have to teach in a different way in order to prepare students for the future. So when I talk about skills like inquiry, I'm talking about the ability to ask questions, intelligent curiosity. When I talk about problem solving, I'm speaking about the ability or skills like critical thinking, creativity, the application of logical reasoning, etc. So in this case, process-based learning is one approach that I like to use in my classroom, because the focus doesn't center on the teacher. It's actually self-directed learning per se. And I like this approach because it's rooted in what I like to call it. This is a concept developed by Carol Dweck, which is a psychologist, and she developed this growth mindset, which is different from a fixed mindset in terms of our abilities and our intelligence. So what she says is that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. Therefore, process-based learning is much more focused on the journey of learning instead of the sole end product. So, engineering design process, which is the topic that brings us here. As I said, inquiry-based approach, a process-based learning approach, and it's a method for teaching that creates a fluid and dynamic and relevant learning environment that helps people become future ready, as I was saying in the beginning. So, as I mentioned, these are the 21st century skills, or the skills required for people right now, which critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, sifting through information, media literacy, and technology are much more important than memorizing or finding information. Now, I mean, I'm repeating myself, but it's the switch between finding information that to filter information. So I'm going to skip this, but the engineering design process is also, it aligns with the goals of STEAM education, which if I'm speaking to teachers, you are all aware of this approach, which involves science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. Again, a process-based learning approach. These are the steps of the engineering design process: identifying the problem, brainstorm, design, build. I mean, the important thing, and I know this is somewhat abstract, maybe you in your teaching practice already practice, and I'm sorry to be repetitive, but you already practice this process, but I'm trying to bring it to your conscious. So, I mean, what you don't name, it doesn't exist. So now I'm naming it, it's a particular process. So, as I was saying, identify the problem. Step number one: brainstorm, design, build, redesign, test, and evaluate. When you build something, you also have to test it and evaluate it if it works. Share solutions. So I'm going to mention, I mean, a little bit of things with regards to each step of the process. So you have to identify the process, and to give you an example, it doesn't have to be something very complicated in the classroom. It can, I mean, to identify a real problem that affects students, it can be just as simple as the pencil of this. Imagine the table of a student, and the pencil often rolls down their desk. So they need to find a way to hold the pencil, or they need to find the tool or whatever to keep their pencils organized and easily accessible. Okay, this is a problem. Is it worth solving? What needs to be done? What is to be achieved? What are the needs, etc., etc. You don't have to start with a problem to identify it. I mean, the problem can be given by us, the teachers. So, second step of the process: brainstorm. Look for solutions without criticisms. In this particular step of the process, students talk to their classmates. Again, it's just ideas without criticism. Then we go to the design process. Now you have like a good idea, then you develop it. And after that, it's the time for building. And then testing if what you built was correct, meaning the pencil holder, is it working? And if it's good, I mean, if you already built something that it works, maybe it's also, this part of the process is also the time for you to, hey, can it be improved? So share solutions. At the end, the engineering design process always has a presentation part, meaning the students always present in front of their classmates. So benefits of the engineering design process: authentic learning, student autonomy, and the educator or the teacher is a facilitator. So the shift is, the educator shifts. The role is just to facilitate learning, not to provide or give data, information, etc. I don't know how I am with time. I guess I will skip this video. So this is a practical example to make the abstract a little bit more tangible, and especially for, in the framework of this project, applying the engineering design process using upcycling is so easy. So in this case, this is an example that you can apply in your classroom. So the problem is already defined. So in this case, if you have read the Three Little Pigs stories, three little pigs need to build a home that can withstand the big bad wolves huffing and puffing. Remember, there are three little pigs, and the wolf tries to enter into their house and eat them. So that's the story. So identify what is needed. This is step number one. So they need to build a house with materials that are solid enough to protect them from the wolves. So essentially, the students need to build a small house using, in this case, and in the framework of upcycling, a house with upcycled materials or recycled materials that can withstand the wolf. In this case, we will use a fan. So brainstorm solutions, you break down students in groups, they choose building materials, whichever materials you have or they bring from home, and then the students brainstorm and find the best solution, per se. And then they with this best idea, they develop it, and if it doesn't work, again, you reiterate, meaning the idea is the process, not the outcome, the final outcome. So if you fail lots of times, that's great. I mean, you're just improving and you're honing and fine-tuning your final product. As I was saying, the students build the prototype, then test it. And in this case, as I said, with a big fan, as if it was the wolf, and turning up the level of the fan, of how the fan works. And then evaluate the results. Student collaborate, and finally, improve solutions. If it's a good result, great, it can be improved. And if it's not, you can still test it, evaluate, and iterate. And then share solutions with our classmates. So this is just a simple example of how the engineering design process can be used in the classroom. And I guess that's it for me. Thank you very much for listening. And
okay, thank you, Elena, for this interesting presentation. And now I'm going to introduce Christina's presentation. Christina Karvouna from Nefinia, the Netherlands, is a project coordinator that leads various international projects focusing on integration and helping marginalized groups like immigrants and people with disabilities. Christina also trains others to promote social inclusion through education. Additionally, she manages EU projects aimed at involving intercultural understanding and uses sports and STEAM education to tackle the challenges and promote diversity. So, Christina, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Anna. Thank you, Elena, for the presentation and the really nice introduction of our today's webinar. We will proceed with assessing how we can assess the upcycling. Of course, some of the things that Elena have mentioned, maybe you will hear them again, but we will focus a little bit more how we can assess upcycling and introduce upcycling to the classroom. So assessing upcycling involves several steps, of course, starting with gathering ideas from online tutorials, blogs, and sustainability events. A starting point of assessing upcycling, of course, through online tutorials or blog, which we can find a plethora of ideas and inspiration, can be found on websites like YouTube, Pinterest, or different other social media that we're using nowadays, and mostly every day they're becoming more and more involved to our everyday life. Of course, we have the connection with professionals. If we have the possibility to be connected with professionals or enthusiasts in the field, we can research, we can search them, we can be in contact and try to bring their added value and their experience to our implementation of our project. Then, of course, we can consider second-hand shops. It's an excellent way to assess upcycling. So we can visit physically and try to interact with all the materials that we can find to the store on spot. Overall, there are numerous ways of assessing upcycling, offering a practical and funny way to promote sustainability and create problem solving. How, though, to assess the effectiveness of the upcycling process? We need to go through some steps. Some of them, as I said, Elena have mentioned them before. We need to identify the objectives. So meaning identifying the objectives of the upcycling process and determine what we want to assess. For example, improving the sustainability or reducing waste, increasing creativity or enhancing efficiency. Second step, specify measuring criteria. Once the objectives are identified from our side, the criteria needs to be defined in order to measure the effectiveness of the upcycling process. The criteria can vary based on the objectives, but some typical criteria we can conclude that it includes cost savings, reduced waste, resource efficiency, and environmental impact. Then we have to note the information. It's really important to gather information, but to know and remember that we need to note down and collect data both before and after the procedure. This is how we will be able to assess the information that we have and, of course, to see the impact that we are creating. Study the information. To uncertain whether the upcycling procedure was successful, we need to analyze the data gathered. Receive and collect feedback. It's really important to seek feedback from stakeholders, including students involved in the upcycling process and customers who use upcycled products. Identify areas for improvement and make necessary recommendations. And of course, keep improving. Based on the received information, analysis, and feedback, continuously improve the upcycling processes, including the design, development, and implementation of the process. Assessing upcycling in the classroom. Upcycling activities in the classroom serve multiple purposes, from reducing waste to fostering creativity and promoting sustainability. For following reasons, we can highlight the importance. For promoting sustainability, we can mention that upcycling reduces waste, instilling environmental awareness and responsibility in students. Encourage the creativity. Students can express creativity and develop problem-solving skills through upcycling activities, enhancing their academic and personal growth. And finally, identifies areas for improvement. By assessing upcycling activities, educators are having the support, the help to pinpoint strengths and weaknesses, leading to a better learning experience for the students. As a last point of my presentation, let's go together to some key indicators to present them as a comprehensive framework to evaluate the impact and success of upcycling activities in schools. We can start, of course, from environmental impact, which means it measures the reduction in waste through upcycling and the use of recycled materials. The students' engagement evaluates student participation, enthusiasm, and involvement in upcycling activities. Then we can turn to creativity, as we mentioned before, assesses the level of creativity in the design and execution, of course, of the upcycling project that we are presenting to the classroom. Moving on to skills development, measures the acquisition of practical skills such as craftsmanship, problem solving, and teamwork. Cost effectiveness analyzes the resources used in upcycling compared to the financial and environmental benefits. Collaboration and teamwork evaluates the level of cooperation and communication among students during the whole process of the upcycling projects. And then quality of final products, assess the quality, durability, and functionality of the upcycled products created by the students. Learning outcomes considers the educational value of upcycling, including its alignment with curriculum objectives and its ability to promote critical thinking. And then we are concluding to feedback, which we can divide into two sectors. We have the teacher feedback, which is collect from teachers to understand the success of the activities and identify the areas of improvement. And then not to forget that we need to receive always the feedback from the students to gauge the experiences and insights contributing to the refinement of upcycling projects. By examining these indicators and criteria, schools can ensure that upcycling activities not only promote sustainability, but also contribute positively to the educational experience, fostering creativity and encountering a broader focus on environmental responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you for the nice presentation. And last but not least, we will introduce Małgorzata Dega from the primary school in Jaslikov, Poland. Małgorzata's presentation is benefits of upcycling and the role of upcycling in promoting sustainability. Małgorzata Dega has a master's degree in English philology and a master's degree in geography, and she is a teacher with almost 25 years of experience. She is interested in ecology, environmental protection, and foreign languages. That's why, as teacher, she gets involved with her students in ecological campaigns and projects. Małgorzata is a person full of passion and commitment to promoting environmental sustainability and upcycling practices. She wants to inspire teachers and students to take actions to protect the environment. She sees environmental education as a key element in building a more ecologically responsible society. As I mentioned before, Małgorzata cannot attend today, and she has prepared a video for us. So,
Upcycling. My name is Małgorzata Dega, and I would like to tell you about benefits of upcycling. So, what does upcycling mean? Upcycling is based on the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle. The main motto is recycle waste as much as you can. Do not send it to landfills. In other words, upcycling is a kind of recycling, but done in a creative way. Nowadays, when mass production dominates and people have access to a wide variety of products, it is worth considering how to help our planet to combat excessive waste production and reduce consumption. To do so, we should think about upcycling. There are many benefits of upcycling. First of all, there are benefits on the environment. So first of them is reducing the amount of waste sent to landfills. We purchase items rapidly, just as we dispose of them quickly due to our familiarity with the rapid mass production of goods. The primary issue related to landfills revolves around the release of methane, which is among the most potent greenhouse gases. Methane has a greater capacity to trap heat from the sun compared to carbon dioxide, and this is characteristic makes it is a significant contributor to climate change. The second benefit is preventing landfill usage. In contemporary times, numerous companies and designers are crafting stylish and functional items from vintage materials, which serves as an effective means to avoid landfill utilization. The third benefit on the environment is minimizing resource consumption. By recycling and upcycling existing resources, we can manufacture goods without tapping into new raw materials. For instance, it's worth noting that creating a single t-shirt requires a staggering 2,700 liters of water. The environmental advantages of upcycling are substantial. It not only reduces the volume of waste sent to landfills annually, but also diminishes the necessity for new material production. This is in turn leads to reducing air and water pollution, lower greenhouse gas emissions, and often results in the conservation of resources. There are also economic and social gains. First of all, supporting local and rural enterprises. Upcycling also lends support to rural village industries and small local businesses, which carries positive social and economic impacts. The second gain is reducing production expenses. Employing reused materials in product creation can significantly cut down a designer's manufacturing costs. The third benefits of upcycling are individual benefits, and one of them is developing creativity and imagination. By repurposing old items, we stimulate our creativity and imagination, fostering personal growth in the process. The second one is enhancing repair skills. Restoring and breathing new life into items requires skill and offers a sense of accomplishment. The third benefit is encouraging upcycling in education. It is advisable to introduce upcycling to young learners at an early stage. Students possess rich imagination and innovative ideas for transforming and reusing items. So this is practical example of upcycling. Plastic can be used in new way. The role of upcycling in promoting sustainability is significant. Upcycling reduces the demand for new raw materials and minimizes the energy required in traditional manufacturing process. By repurposing existing items, we decrease the amount of waste destined for landfills, contributing to a more sustainable and eco-friendly future. To sum up, I hope that I have stimulated you to act on the issue of upcycling, because it is very important for us and for our planet to be eco-friendly. Thank you for watching.
Okay, so this is the end of the video of our colleague Rosatas. I hope you enjoyed the webinar. Thank you for listening. I have just checked the chat and I haven't seen any question. So then I think we can end this webinar, reminding you that we still have a webinar, the third webinar of this series, the 30th of April at the same time, 16:30 Central European Time. So once again, thank you for listening and have a nice day. So we finished.